welcome to the November edition of Out of This World News. Let's get right to our news. All right, let's get right to our mission update. First off, as of the end of October, the Mars Perseverance rover is over halfway on its journey to Mars. It's going to reach Mars on February 21st or 2/21/21 when it will do its landing sequence. So really excited about that. Also, the OSIRIS-REx mission successfully kissed an asteroid, Bennu, and is now returning the sample to Earth. The good news is it captured way more material off the asteroid than they were anticipating. The bad news is for a little while that was venting off into space because they could not close the sample capsule because there was so much material there. Fortunately, they figured that out. They have stowed the sample, and OSIRIS-REx is on its way back to Earth. Now, why is this a big deal? They just went to an asteroid. This will be the first sample returned from anywhere in space back to the surface of the Earth since the astronauts finished the Apollo missions in 1972. So we also have future things. The Mars Perseverance rover, which I just mentioned a little bit earlier, is also going to collect samples for a future mission to return to Earth. So we're going to find new stuff on that as well. Also, the Dragon Crew 1 mission is scheduled to launch on November 14th. This was originally scheduled to lift off on October 31st, but they had a little technical problem. There were 1/16 of an inch wide vents on some engines that had gotten clogged, and they figured out what it was a material they used to protect the rocket while they were conditioning it that had melted a little bit and run down in these little holes. It wasn't only on the rocket used for Dragon Crew 1, but on some of their other missions too. But now that they know what they saw, they fixed that problem. So the 4 crew members should be heading off for the International Space Station on November 14th. Speaking of the International Space Station, happy anniversary. ISS, as of November 2nd, has now had 20 years of continuous operations. Its first component was launched on November 20th, 1998. It was a Russian module called Zarya that was basically the space station for a while so they could get the solar panels and everything on. The last segment and the completion of the space station as we know it today was done in 2011. And there's been a permanent human crew on the space station for the last 20 years. Now, they are looking ahead. 20 years is a long time. As an international space station, it is kind of scheduled to be decommissioned over the next 5 to 10 years. But we're hoping by that time there will be some commercial space stations up there. But we'll wait and see on that. But once again, happy birthday to the International Space Station. Also, another November anniversary, November 13th, 1971, the Mariner 9 spacecraft became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet, and it completely mapped the surface of Mars for the very first time. All right, let's take a look at the sky tonight here in Youngstown. This is the sky over Youngstown about 6:30 this evening. Remember, now that the time changes happened, it gets dark a lot earlier. And in the evening sky, we do have 3 planets visible in the southern sky. The first thing you'll see outside tonight is Jupiter. I went out walking last week and could see that as early as 6 o'clock in the evening sky. Right next to Jupiter is Saturn. And you notice how close those 2 planets are becoming. Jupiter is edging closer and closer to Saturn, so we're getting very close to a planetary conjunction there. Over in the southeastern sky, you will see Mars is still very bright in the sky. It is dimming down from its brightest that it was in September, but still very easy to pick out in the nighttime sky. Now, while we're talking about this, I also want to let you know that our other two planets that you can see without a telescope, Venus and Mercury, are making their appearance in the very early morning sky. Now, because of the time change, once again, that's really early morning sky. We're talking like 5 o'clock in the morning. But right now you can go out and see Venus, and Mercury will be joining it in the morning sky, as you can see on this graphic here. Also in our nighttime sky, almost straight overhead at 6:30 is the Summer Triangle still. That's actually kind of a lousy name because it is going to be in our sky well through December, but it's highest in the sky for most of the night during the summer, hence the name. So nearby to Mars is the Great Square of Pegasus right here. So in the summer, we have a triangle. In the fall, we have a square. And if we move ahead in time a bit, we will run into the winter sky. Now notice on this graphic as well, at 6:30 we have Uranus up. Uranus, if you are around light pollution, you will not see. I've even hit that with a telescope, and if you are at pristine dark skies, you can see Uranus without a telescope, but discerning it from a faint star is next to impossible. It wasn't discovered until the 1700s by William Herschel because of that. It's very faint, but it is up in the evening sky, so if you got dark skies, you can check that out. So now we moved ahead to about 10 o'clock this evening, and the reason I did that for November 12th is that at that time, the best constellation in the entire nighttime sky, Orion the Hunter, has risen in the evening sky. You can mark Orion by his belt and the bright star Betelgeuse and the bright star Rigel. Orion will be getting higher in the nighttime sky. Every evening, he'll be rising a little bit earlier. So by the time we get around Christmas time, he will be in our evening sky just as the sun goes down. So there you go. Those are a few things to check out in the nighttime sky. I will be back in December with our next Out of This World news. Until then, keep your eye to our news feed. We will be happy to share with you. And we will also be bringing you updates in our Keep Looking Up planetarium shows as well. So until next time, that is Out of This World news.